Welcome to the Sonic News Network for Sonic news reviews and walkthroughs. And today I'm going to be reviewing all of the episodes that I've missed of Sonic Boom. It's been a long while because I had some computer troubles these past few days. And I just wanted to make sure that I got them all down. And now we have a lot to go through, so let's just start. So the first two episodes are Translate This and Buster. Now both episodes feel like derivatives of the others. They both revolve around new robots that come and go. So let's start with Translate This, since it is the one before the other one. Now, in this one, Tails creates a robot that translates thoughts into speech. The obviously bad things happens and creates disharmony between the group. The group asks Tails to destroy it. Tails doesn't and instead tries to fix it, but Eggman naps it and creates one that greatly creates disharmony in a funny way. Tails then tells the original group that they've been duped and tries to go and rescue UT. Since the group doesn't want to come along since they didn't like the original UT anyway, he goes by himself. Some friends you got there. After going to Eggman's fortress to try to receive UT, Tails agrees to do a partnership with Eggman in order to not get captured. Tails then sends the real UT device to the group with a cunning line that sounds good to Eggman but tells the truth to the group. Because remember, the UT device can translate the actual thoughts that Tails is thinking into his actual speech. The gang then breaks in and fights a giant robot sent by Eggman when Tails just walks away from a contract that couldn't be drawn up any other time before then. And the one moment that everyone loves, that Son Amy moment.
Amy, look out! That was close.
I care about your well-being.
Aww.
Well, Son Amy is canon, but I like the way they're going with it so far. They're not really just, going so bluntly as in past attempts, but I still think it's bad to just rip Amy of that part of her personality. Now we're going to move on to Buster. Now it starts off with a comedic fight against the Fireman robot, which is created by, Eggman. And speaking of Eggman, his lines are really great in this scene. I actually like him a lot.
Shouldn't firemen put out fires?
Hello, that's the irony? It's the evil opposite of a fireman. I mean, I assume.
Sonic.
After the fight, Styx uses a terrible way to get a cat down from a tree, and Amy suggests Styx should get a pet. Styx doesn't get a real pet and gets a cluster bot out of the garbage. Styx likes the robot a little bit too much, and the obvious bad things happen when Eggman robots attack and then they get away. This causes disharmony between the group. The group asks Styx to get rid of it, and she doesn't. Do you see the similarities between Translate This and Buster? Because I'm starting to see them. When the group is about to leave, Eggman shows up and reveals it was his robot! As if Tails and Eggman aren't the only two people that in this so-called universe that can create one. Then the robot attacks the group and Styx must be the one to save everybody by disciplining Buster. Are giant robot attacks going to happen every single episode? And it ends with Buster leaving the group with everyone having learned nothing at all, and this is further asserted by Tails being an idiot right at the end of the episode.
I found a giant octopus! Think I can keep him?
Now on to the episode that has the best fan art, My Fair Styxy. The episode starts out with a random meteor shower for no reason whatsoever, and yes, hide under a straw house because that's going to save you from fireballs of death. Writers. Right? Styx then uses her meteor defense system, don't ask, and she then saves the town and gets invited to an awards ceremony. And the monkey guy is a funny joke.
So bring your 4 closest pals. Sorry, comedy chimp.
Styx then has anxiety about the event, and Amy gives her comfort and teaches her how to act, which is very much depicted in this fan art. Styx fails all the lessons, but she still goes anyway, because, moving on with the plot. And Sonic is actually her date this evening, which is dropped immediately as we get there. Sorry, fan art artists, and also sorry, shippers. Styx then proceeds to act weird, and Knuckles makes bad jokes that make him likable to the rich folks.
Ugh. More like goat cheese and a red crudikio spread.
They claim that he speaks their mind. Then Dr. Eggman shows up and acts like Styx's new demeanor, if you can even call it that, suddenly makes her unrecognizable or that Sonic's not there. Dr. Eggman doesn't win the award and attacks with robots, and the team gets stuck once again with Styx as the only one to save him, just like the last episode. Styx then tries to break free from being ladylike, which fails as an element since we saw it never really stuck, even at the party, and there was definitely no mind break moment where Styx was completely ladylike and could not attack. They win, the end. Now on the Fortress of Squalitude. and this doesn't even begin to make sense as a Superman pun. Eggman must make his fortress look evil for a magazine, who then says it's too retro with no irony. Hipsters. Then we cut to Amy, who has a planned dinner which everybody keeps failing at. And what the frick is wrong with Knuckles?
Not now, Amy. I'm busy.
Oh, please don't cook me, Knuckles! Today turned out a lot different than I expected.
Why do they keep rubbing it in? It's not even the worst line this episode, as we'll get to it later. Amy doesn't feel appreciated, and Amy then goes to work with Eggman. Gimmicks ensue, and she gets Eggman's fortress approved by the Sonic OC Scouter. Eggman then traps Amy for no reason. Like, really, she's able to stay there. All you have to do is give her half the credit, and then you get featured. You win. Now, back to the unappreciators.
Burned food just doesn't taste the same without Amy.
Knuckles, you're eating a napkin.
Yeah, I knew that.
Are you kidding me with this? They then rescue Amy, beat up the lair, and get Eggman disproved by another OC photographer, and the Scouter OC gets fired. Next. Now on to episode 8, Double Doomsday. It should be called Sonic OC with a Vengeance. The episode starts off at a fast food stand where Eggman cuts in front of Sonic and does a funny dance.
That's how we do it. Score 1 for Eggman.
Oh, this series! Eggman was able to cut in line since the Sonic OC let him, and he reveals that he's a fan of Eggman's work. Eggman offers him the work as an unpaid intern, and he agrees.
It'd be an honor to work for you without pay.
And if you're getting annoyed by the stereotypical geek voice, then blame Roger Craig Smith yet again, because he voices him. Then the Sonic OC works doing minor jobs and gets mad when Orbot and Cubot edge on his turf. He dismantles Cubot, and Eggman could not give less of a care.
Man, sir, it's Cubot. He's been disassembled.
I don't have time for you two. Can't you see I'm enjoying quality time with my protege?
The Sonic OC tells Eggman that he wants to do something really evil, and Eggman says he's not ready. So obviously the Sonic OC goes and starts a Doomsday device Eggman made. And then Eggman starts his device to outdo the Sonic OC. Tails fixes Cubot and then recognizes the signature of both Doomsday devices. And then when realizing there's no off switch, the writers do something smart.
But it's our only chance. If we increase the energy output of both devices and get them vibrating at opposite frequencies, then there's a small chance they'll cancel each other out.
Now, if you study physics, you'll know that this statement is true, but the problem is that this phenomenon only happens with sound waves. Oh, Sonic Boom, you tried being smart by looking it up, but failed. Back to plot! So Sonic and Tails increases the Sonic OC's power and Eggman's power to ridiculous levels, and they both send them off at the same time. They disappear at first, and then create a giant void in the sky. Then Tails explains that Sonic needs to get close enough with his reverse polarizer machine in order to save everything. And I do realize that he established it earlier, but what's the point of discussing it when it's just used in the nick of time and destroyed at the end anyway? It's like all the Sonic OCs and machines. Nothing ever stays, so why even bother? Sonic crashes into the ground, making a big hole with no scratches on him, obviously, and Eggman fires the Sonic OC, who seeks revenge.
They'll pay for this. They're all gonna pay! You want fries with that?
Really? That voice? Honestly, the best way to describe these episodes is Tails' best line in the episode.
You're too slow.
And that's all for this episode review from the Sonic News Network. Tune in next Friday for the next episode review, and tune in Monday for another fun blind run. See you next time.
When I get to home, I'm gonna buy Ma a new hat.
Can we stop doing that where whenever a character, like, that's freaking Sonic Boom syndrome. Like, whenever a character talks, they always dip the audio so you can hear the character talking. Like, why?